and watch the 8-count boxing hour.
All right,
man.
all right.
Hey, man.
Main event time. We got some professionals for you. Ricky Ortega and Miguel Torres. First, let's go to the weigh-in, and then let's meet Ricky.
Mr. Ricky Ortega. The other way, sir. That's right, I was up when I... Yes, sir. I thought you were taking care of it. Well, we're going to fight. We've got to fight. We're going to go right under that. Wow, he's like... That's the principle is when you need these. Automatic. So Ricky Ortega weighing in at 40 and a half. You did 4? How much heavier are you? Because that can't make it. But that's the part of it. 6 rounds? Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. Or 4 rounds. Good reading. 140 and 1/2. Miguel Torres. But anyway, that's the 4 rounds. Hey, look at me. Miguel Torres weighing in at... No. 137 and a half. 137 and 1/2. Thank you, Mr. Torres.
Albuquerque, New Mexico, a terrific lightweight fighter. This is Ricky Ortega. Ricky, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you.
And you're getting ready to step in here and take on Miguel Torres tomorrow night. This will be your 4th professional fight.
Yeah.
And are you starting to get the hang of professional boxing?
Oh, yeah. This comes along with me quick.
Okay. Okay, good. Now, do you know anything about your opponent tomorrow night? Have you seen him? Or?
I just seen him now on the scale, but I think I read the paper. He was supposed to fight Rudy, right?
Yeah.
And said he's been in there taking some good guys to the distance, and I guess he's supposed to be a pretty tough fighter, game fighter.
Right. Okay, well, I'm sure that you're in shape and ready to go. Your weight, you came in about 140, and you look a little surprised on the scale.
Well, my scale, which I didn't know if it was right or not, it had me at weight, but I got here, I guess I need a new scale.
But it's a go, though. The fight is a go, though, right? So you don't have to knock any pounds off or anything?
No.
Good, good, okay. Now, you've scored 2 impressive knockout victories, and stopping Joe Chavez was a real feather in your cap. He's quite a good fighter. And what do you recall from that fight with Joe Chavez? That was
I know Joe Chavez is a real good fighter inside, so I had to show him a little bit of a jab and work the body. When I seen him fight a couple of times, nobody ever worked the body on him. I think the body took toll.
Yeah, and you were able to stop him. It was a heck of a fight up to that point. And your surprising loss now to Pay Castillo, I guess that was a little bit of a disappointment. Did he kind of surprise you with his power?
No, see, then my elbow was hurt, and I shouldn't have fought. And I couldn't keep him away. He was a real tough fighter inside. Right. And I think if I would have outboxed him a little bit better, if I had a jab, I would have been victorious. But, you know, he hit me with a couple of good shots. My head was clear. I knew it wasn't there, so I just told him to stop it between the 2nd and 3rd round.
Right, right. So maybe we can get a rematch sometime and even things up?
Maybe. Either way, it doesn't matter to me.
Whatever, yeah, you're just going to move on, huh?
Whatever manages that.
Okay, so training's going good and weight's good enough, and you're ready to go tomorrow night, huh?
No, I'm ready.
Okay, we look forward to seeing you in action, Ricky, and as usual, is there anything you want to say to the people of Albuquerque?
Just come down, it should be a good show. Come and cheer us on.
All right, thanks a lot. It's Ricky Ortega from Albuquerque. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, may we have the boxers for this, the first bout, into the ring, please. introducing for this, the first bout scheduled for 4 rounds. Out of Mexico, weighing in at 137.5 pounds, Miguel Torres. Ladies and gentlemen, weighing in at 140.5 pounds, out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, fighting out of the red corner, Mr. Ricky Ortega.
Two-touch gloves, and we're ready to go here with boxing action coming to you from Roller West. Dan Cisneros at ringside. You're watching the 8-count boxing hour. We're looking at Ricky Ortega in the blue trunks, his opponent Miguel Torres out of El Paso, Texas. In the white trunks, we are underway. Third man in the ring, Tony Rosales. Ricky Ortega with a record of 2-1 out of the Old Town area of Albuquerque, New Mexico, a student at TBI. Promising professional fighter. His opponent, Miguel Torres, more of a veteran. He has a lot more experience. Professional record of 7-11. So I don't know if that's good luck or bad luck, but 7-11 is the record of Miguel Torres as he takes on Albuquerque's Ricky Ortega. Ricky now being a little more aggressive, has Miguel Torres in the corner. Professional boxing, these are junior welterweights. Ricky Ortega coming in at 140.5. I think he was a little bit surprised at the weight. He seemed like he was expecting to be around that lightweight limit, 135, but Ortega coming in at 140.5. His opponent, Miguel Torres, coming in at 137. Boxing from Roller West. This footage provided by Sal and Rudy Guzman of Prime Productions. Felix Tenorio is their agent. Both men right-handers. Ricky Ortega, good fast hands, decent power. There you see him with a nice little combination, just coming up a little bit short. Boom, the right hand sneaks in there from Miguel Torres. Ricky Ortega in the blue trunks, the aggressor. There's a nice combination. Now he answers back with a good body shot. And Miguel Torres just kind of gets out of there. He tries to lean in and throw that left. There's a good overhand right. It lands from Miguel Torres. And Ortega answering back. Round one here. We're scheduled for 4. Junior welters here on the 8-count boxing hour. Ricky Ortega from Albuquerque and El Paso, Texas. Miguel Torres. There's a body shot now. Miguel Torres just kind of leans in. Tries to get to the point of the hip on Ortega. Ricky now just kind of flicking that jab out there. Ricky Ortega with his hands high. There, Ortega lands a right hand, comes back with a few more shots. Nice combination. Ortega moves out, or excuse me, Miguel Torres moves out of the way there. There's Ricky now with a little body shot. Miguel Torres answering back with a right hand. Ricky Ortega, a record of 2-1. And that ends the first round. Pretty good round both ways. Miguel Torres got some nice shots in there. Close one to score. As you look into the corner of Miguel Torres. Haven't seen him in action before. Coming to us from El Paso, Texas. Round 2 coming up. We look into the corner now of Ricky Ortega. Ricky, who's coming off of his first loss, a surprising, kind of an upset loss to Pay Castillo from Arizona. That fight taking place at the Kiva Auditorium. And Ricky trying to come back from that loss here with looking for a victory against Miguel Torres. A course, Ricky with that nice win here at Roller West against Joe Chavez, his crosstown rival from Albuquerque. It was a great fight, and Ortega picked up a nice stoppage there, a nice TKO after some great action. Boy, it was a great action fight while it lasted. So we're underway now with round 2 here at Roller West. Ricky Ortega in the blue trunks, Miguel Torres in the white trunks with the black stripe down the side. And there you see Ricky trying to get busy with that jab. Ricky trained by Oriol Chavez. And now Ricky with some nice combination punching and stays on top of his man. Whoa, Miguel Torres with a big haymaker. Again, he comes back with the left hand. Miguel Torres loading up with those shots, but not connecting on Ricky. And you can look at the two here kind of wrestling on the inside. Referee Rosales breaks them. And there you see Ortega now with some good combination punching. And Miguel Torres is a pretty decent boxer here, showing some nice foot movement. He's not just standing there, he sneaks in again with that big overhand right. And it looks like that's going to be the favorite weapon of Miguel Torres. And now you see Ricky busier, you know, throwing a lot more shots. Moving ahead, the aggressor, Ricky Ortega in the blue trunks. Ricky, the pride of Old Town. Body shot from Torres, but he gets one back as Ricky Ortega answers, and now Ortega jumps on him. The crowd is all the way behind Ricky Ortega here. There's a good right hand to the head. Ooh, and Torres just leans in and throws that overhand right, and it landed. Torres looks dangerous with those wild overhand shots. Boy, if they connect, look out. Now you see Ortega with some nice combination punching on the inside, moves in with a right hand. Okay, Cowboy, get your head out of the way. Thank you. Ricky Ortega now moving forward again. No doubt who the aggressor is in this one. The aggression, the pressure being placed by Ricky Ortega. Oh, an uppercut sneaks in there from Miguel Torres. Ortega took it well. Oh, a right hand from Miguel Torres, and then Ricky Ortega answering back again. Torres landing some of those wild shots. Ooh, there's a nice combination. 2 punches landing to the head of Miguel Torres. Ricky Ortega looks like he's able to just control this fight by staying busy. But he's walking the tightrope. He doesn't want to get into a slugfest with this guy and let the opponent have a chance at a big bomb. But he also needs to score. And there you see Torres. He likes that uppercut on the inside. That ends the second round, so this bout is halfway over. 2 down, 2 to go. Tough rounds to score. Ortega controlling most of the match and throwing more punches, but Miguel Torres landing those big shots, and they look pretty impressive to the judges. And there you see Oriol Chavez and Max Cisneros working on Rick Ortega. George Carter now in the corner of Miguel Torres. George Carter and the man on the outside, Alfredo Torres. Pro boxing coming to you from Roller West in the South Valley of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Ricky Ortega and Miguel Torres, professional welterweights here on the 8-count boxing hour. Dan Cisneros at ringside, and we're laying this all down on videotape for you, hoping someday in the future to bring this to you folks there on Community Cable Channel 27 in Albuquerque. Round 3 underway now. Pretty good action in this bout. Not a lot of hugging, not a lot of grabbing. You can see Miguel Torres trying to just kind of sneak away and get distance for the big windmill bombs. Ricky Ortega trying to close the gap. There's the windmill, the overhand right again. Miguel Torres. And you can see both men just kind of setting traps here, looking for something big. Ricky Ortega in his professional debut scored a nice first-round knockout. His second fight, a big win for him against Joe Chavez, the crosstown rival, a fine fighter. Ricky was in a real slugfest in that one. Finally, his power taking over. And then the upset loss to Pay Castillo, as he talked about in the opener. And Ricky now trying to bounce back. So far, there's a nice body combination from Rick Ortega. Again, Ortega goes to the body and comes back upstairs. There's a good right hand that lands now. And Miguel Torres backing up. He's a little bit shaken. He got a little shook up. You can see him back out. A little bit wobbly, but he's tough. Miguel Torres with 18 fights as a professional. Ricky Ortega only in his 4th pro fight. And Ricky Ortega was a good amateur kickboxer. You may remember, if you've been following the 8 Count Boxing Hour for some years, in one of our very early shows, Ricky Ortega scored a big knockout at a kickboxing tournament, although that fight was a boxing match. It was as a boxer, as an amateur boxer, scoring a good knockout as an amateur, and here he is now as a professional. But he was a very well-renowned kickboxer on the amateur circuit here in Albuquerque. And Ricky Ortega gets that chopping right hand in there. Miguel Torres just kind of froze up, and Ricky took advantage of it through the right hand. Oh, the 2 banged heads right there. It's getting rough on the inside here. Miguel Torres keeps bending forward, just bending down. Look at him. Oh, Ricky with a nice left hand. And there's an overhand right from Miguel Torres, but Ricky Ortega answering right back. Both men now trading shots. I don't think Ricky Ortega's plan was to get into a slugfest, but if it should turn out that way, I would say he might have more power. But he has the better boxing skills, and I think he's hoping to rely on that, but sometimes things just don't work out the way you want. Miguel Torres trying to impose his will. At the bell, lands a good 1-2, finishing with a left hand to the chin. So Miguel Torres ends it with a bang. But I think Ricky Ortega doing most of the damage throughout that 3rd round. We're down to our final round, 1 to go here, scheduled for 4. Junior welters. And Miguel Torres looks pretty pleased. He seems to be pretty happy with what he's been able to do. Ricky Ortega, in my book, would be ahead in this fight, but I don't know if this is exactly going the way they drew it up. In the corner there, you see Oriol Chavez talking to Rick Ortega. That's Max Cisneros on the outside of the ring. The 8 Count Boxing Hour, bringing you the boxing action of the Duke City. Another Albuquerque professional boxing card here, and we're looking at a good match. Ricky Ortega, Miguel Torres, they touch them up. Round 4, the final round here, junior welterweights. Ricky Ortega in the blue trunks. 2-1 as a professional. 2-1, both wins by knockout. His opponent, who you just saw landing the big right hand, and a follow-up now with the left hand, Miguel Torres, landed some heavy leather, and now Rick Ortega comes back. Miguel Torres in the white trunks, 7-11 as an as a professional. And you can see Miguel Torres just leaning in and throwing those overhands. Ricky Ortega knows what to expect. That's the way he's been fighting throughout. And now a warning goes to Rick Ortega. The 2 men now just kind of waiting for the other. And there's Torres just waiting in there with that overhand right. A left hook sneaks in there by Torres. Look at Ortega rolling there. He tries to roll, and he does. Comes back with a little right hand. Ortega now trying to step back and use that jab. And the cameraman here losing control of things, trying to get things under control here. men now working on the inside. You saw some nice body punching there. Oh, a big right hand from Miguel Torres. Did you see that? Came in with that right hand. It landed, and Ortega just grabs and pushes his way forward here. Miguel Torres with those dangerous punches. And he leaps in and eats a right hand for his efforts, as Ricky Ortega was ready for him that time. And now you see Miguel Torres try to work, and Ricky Ortega now back to the body. Nice body work by Rick Ortega. Referee Tony Rosales prying these two guys apart. Boy, Miguel Torres not coming to town as an opponent. He's here to win. He's been fighting throughout. Both men now, oh, and Ricky Ortega with a nice quick left hand. He snapped the head back of Torres, but give Miguel Torres credit, he took it. Now Torres with a nice 1-2 on the inside. Both men exchanging now. Here we go. They're just throwing down right here. Time running out. Look at Ricky Ortega with both hands. At the bell. At the bell. Great fight. Great fight for these two. Action throughout. Everybody giving a nice round of applause for these two fighters. They gave it their all. Good action throughout. I like it. And I hope you've enjoyed this one too. It's been a good one. 4 rounds of boxing here. Junior welterweight professionals, Ricky Ortega, Miguel Torres, giving the crowd a nice boxing match here. The fans are very pleased. You could see by the ovation. That's all they ask. Get in there and you know, get busy and fight. And the two men with a nice boxing exhibition. 2 differing styles. And now let's go up to the ring announcer and find out the decision of the judges.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a decision, and it is a split decision. The judges score it 39-38, 40-35, and 40-37 for the winner. And now we're taking Mr. Ricky Ortega.
So a nice victory. It was not a gimme. Ricky Ortega earned that one. Congratulations to the winner by split decision, Ricky Ortega from Albuquerque.